Bippity boppity boom. Welcome everybody to this month's edition of the Developer Program Update Call. We are recording, and my name is Nick Moores, Head of Developer Relations at Workday. Folks, if you haven't figured it out yet, let me give you a big fat hint. We are all in person together in beautiful Boulder, Colorado. We just hiked up a quote-unquote easy trail. I will tell you, as someone that lives at sea level, we're at what, 6,000 feet?
Roughly, yeah.
You can feel it, my friends. Like, am I old or yes? Maybe both. Maybe both. Please review our safe harbor product statement. I think it's going to show up multiple times in this call on purpose because we can't help ourselves. We want to give you all the good stuff. Please don't make purchasing decisions based off of the good stuff. All right, I'm going to come in hot right from the beginning. Just now, we have opened up Workday Developer MVP applications for 2026. There is a link that might come in the chat soon. I think Tony's getting his badge downstairs. On the developer forum, just go to the news section and you can see the post for this year. There's a SurveyMonkey application. Actually, Obinna, tell us a bit about the MVP program.
Yeah.
What's good?
So obviously, the MVP program is, a group of people who we have in our community to represent you all, and we want you to be a part of it. We're in a unique position right now where, we're opening up the developer ecosystem, and you have the chance to be part of this program, to give us early feedback. You have public recognition for the work that you're doing, the contributions that you have. And yeah, we want you to be a part. So please sign up. We want to see your applications, and you'll be in the midst of all these awesome folks learning more about Workday. So that's, a great opportunity.
Hell yeah. So I think we started very strong with our first year of the program. You saw these folks on stage at DevCon. You saw them running Chalk Talks. You've seen them on broadcast, on podcast. They've given loads of amazing feedback to Workday as well. We're super duper thankful for our MVPs. It's a yearly re-up process, so we're not saying it's going to be a brand new set of like 15 people, but we're opening the doors to new applicants. So we would love to hear from you and have direct conversations about your interest in the program. More news to come soon. We intend to announce the cohort at Rising in October. So we want you to be the face of our developer program, much like Sam Rasika is, because Sam is awesome. All right. Can you believe it? Nick, why is there another product statement slide? Here's why. This is like super duper product statement because I want to tease something that we intend to reveal to you next week. Something that you can sign up for, to express interest for something that I think is going to change the ecosystem forever. And you're going to hear it first from us right now. I'm going to do the short version of my stump speech, if you're stuck with me in an elevator, on why the developer community matters. I promise this is going somewhere. So you heard us last year announce Workday Build, our developer platform for people, for money, for agents. We've got tools, we've got amazing partner ecosystem, we've got community, but it's not actually easy to get all of those things today. Easier said than done. Access to the tools is contingent on you being employed by a partner, you being employed by a customer, your customer having access to XYZ SKU. Your access to the ecosystem is also contingent on all those things. And Workday is making some big changes. So just a reminder, we empower you. We are your voice within Workday as developer relations. We are your voice to the world. But even more importantly, it's not about us. It's not the DevRel show. It's the you show. We are investing in amplifying your voice. We actually just talked with our CTO, Gabe, yesterday at our offsite. He is all in on this as well. We are the voice of you, the developer. And I think to give you a better voice, we're going to need to make some changes. So there are huge, gigantic, double safe harbor product statement things in the works. And it'll make sense why I'm telling you about this in a second. But as you know today, if you've been around as long as I have, or as Chris has, the ecosystem, the dev program itself, closed. Chris Bledsoe, in his parting words to me, it's like, Nick, the dev program must be open. And so it's my duty to Chris to make this happen. Right? Preaching to the choir. You got to be a customer or partner to even have access to the dev site, logged in. Pro certifications. You can't just get certified. You switch companies. Certification does not transfer easily. You can't necessarily access an environment where you can build on hands-on with Workday, where you can learn about Workday, where you can actually engage with our APIs and build your career. So Again, double product statement. In the future, we are working toward a more open developer program. Our vision is for anyone to create in the platform, anyone to start building, anyone to be able to get certified, and you own your frickin' certification. So you don't have to do a mountain of paperwork to get it from place to place to place to place. You all are the beating heart of this community. What if you could tell everyone around you, your friends, your family, hey, this career changed my life. It'll change yours too. Hop on the party bus. We want prospective developers to be able to get psyched for that. We want to be able to send Prema to every city in India, especially Goa, and get everyone excited to join the ecosystem. It needs to be easier to learn, to build, and to grow your career. I don't have a sexy slide for this, but something that we intend to launch in the next week or so is a proper waitlist. If that sounds like something that lights your fire like it lights mine, there is going to be a waitlist to apply for an open developer program. If you are part of our MVP program, you have access to this. If you've been at Developer Days, like on Prema's hat, you have access to this. It's in like super duper pilot mode right now. But we are going to launch this to the world very soon. So we're going to put out a waitlist. We will blast it on social media and beyond so that you know, but we want to let you know right now. If that sounds like you, be on the lookout for a waitlist that will live on the developer site that says, hell yes, I want to be a part of this. And we want your feedback on what would make this awesome. What are you not seeing? It's going to be great. Did I miss anything, folks?
I want to summarize everything you said
Please,
in 4 words.
Do it.
Speak, friend, and enter.
Yeah! Hell yeah. That's also the name of my Wi-Fi situation at home. Yeah, you shall not password. Do not hack into my Wi-Fi. All right. This is a photo from about 45 minutes ago. So I am still rocking some shorts and a hat because I have crazy hair. So we just did a trek together in Boulder, Colorado. But this is the path before us, my friends. We're going to climb this mountain. We're going to have the best selfie ever. Prema's going to tell us about Developer Days Australia. We've got updates from product. Thank you, product. We love you. We've got DevRel updates, Dev Program updates, and then Q&A. Prema, take it away, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Nick. And I hope I missed the Boulder trek, but see you next year, guys. So we will be having a Boulder trek together. But
if
yeah.
anyone has a US visa.
So that's the toughest thing an Indian can get right now. So yeah. But
golden ticket.
So starting with, hello folks. This is Prema Adlepudi, your senior developer advocate for the India and APAC region. And the current picture, which you are looking at right now, is taken like exactly a month back in Bengaluru. So this is the whole group photo of the Developer Days Bengaluru event. And it was all fun. And since the entire event was fun, we are not stopping with another. Nick, let's go to the next slide.
Yes, sir.
So since our Bengaluru edition of Developer Days has been a huge success for us, we are going to do another Developer Day event, but not in India, but in a different country. So anyone, any guesses so far? I haven't seen. Yeah, you guys are right. Canada. Who has Canada? Yeah. Australia, New Zealand, almost right. So next slide, Nick.
Yep.
This is an AI generated image. We don't have any rights of like Workday on top of Opera. So we are conducting the Developer Days, the Built on Workday Developer Days in Sydney, Australia, in September 15th and 16th. So next slide, Nick.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
Since the last event was successful, we are following the same format, but with a different set of people and atmosphere over there. So it will be a 2-day event with 2 different tracks. One track is for Built on Workday folks, and the next track is for the open developer folks. For the Built on Workday folks, it would be like knowing how they can build more production grade applications, best practices. But for the open developers, it will be like getting the fundamentals on their hand and how to use the agents inside the Workday developer ecosystem. And post the both tracks are done, we will be having a hackathon, supposed to be 24 hours. So we are having like 23.5 hours. So 23 hours of hackathon. And then, so if you are a BOW partner, if you want to participate in this hackathon, drop a mail. And if you're an open developer who just want to come to the event and gain insights of how to develop an application inside the Workday developer ecosystem, this is your QR code. We'll be having this QR code for multiple seconds. Scan it, fill it up. See you there in Australia.
Amazing. And we have a Luma calendar spun up for this, so we'll drop that in the chat as well. You can see how to express interest in the open developer track for Sydney Developer Days.
Dropped it right away over here.
Like it's hot. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Prema. Right.
Thanks, Nick.
Dan,
Is he
I forgot to check in with you if you were here.
He's here.
He's here.
Is he a presenter?
Dimash, let's make you a presenter. I'm going to allow him to talk at the very least.
Oh, there we go.
All
Is that
right.
Gucci? Oh, yeah. Those dulcet tones. Takes me back. What's up, Dan?
Not much. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Nice to
Doing
see you,
good.
Dan.
I was just thinking that like I need some sort of double secret access to this call that I don't have, but
Sorry about
we'll
that.
make do. We'll make do with what we have.
Next time.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to talk about a couple of enhancements that we came out with at the beginning of our fiscal quarter here in August. And they'll hopefully make the lives of orchestration developers a whole lot easier. So we've made some enhancements to our expression builder, condition builder, which is within expression builder, and our create values steps. So there are basically some usability improvements, making it faster and easier to build and refine complex expressions and conditions. So what are the changes? Well, first and foremost, we now have a pop-out to the expression builder window, or I should say expression builder field, into an expression builder window that's movable and resizable and stays in sync with the original expression builder field that you're editing. So if you're looking at that, the little screenshot, the first one at the top, in addition to the related actions button on the right-hand side, there's an option to expand the view, and that's what opens up this input editor. So yeah, that's change number one. Number two is some updates to our conditional builder. You get some autosave. You get the ability to duplicate conditions so that you can easily copy and paste and kind of redo conditions that are probably very similar to the previous one with just some slight alterations without having to recreate everything from scratch. Also, autosave has been introduced to the condition editor.
No big deal.
What's that?
I said no big deal.
Yeah, no
Making
big
it
deal.
rain,
Yeah,
man.
one of the things that that people were tripping up on, like we had autosave with the rest of everything, but then when you got to condition editor, oops,
Yeah.
you didn't save. Too bad. Well, now, oops, you didn't save. Great, we save for you. And then one of the most annoying things that people wanted to talk about, which was like, if conditions are true and if conditions are false, how about we default to true and false within the condition builder? We didn't do that before, but now I guess we will. I mean, whatever. So yeah, so that's our condition editor enhancements, and then last but not least, reordering create value steps with
Oh my
drag
God.
and drop. So I think the GIF at the bottom says it all. Now, self-explanatory. Oh,
That's incredible.
Yep. And we've gotten a suggestion to add that to like some other areas like CSV or CSV schema and things like that. And that's a great idea. And that's something that we'll be working on in the future. So yeah, those are our enhancements. And we, hope that you find that there's less scrolling, less back and forth, less or no missed saves, and no more having to delete and rebuild just to change the order of your create values expressions. So, yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I haven't been this excited since the Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Whoa! High praise. High
Yep,
praise.
yep.
It's a big freaking deal. I joke, but not really, about people at altitude standing and applauding when they let you have multi-line MVEL expressions. I'm not standing because I'm wearing shorts and I'm on camera. But Dan, this is well beyond that. This is it. This is it. Thank you so much, man. Amazing feedback in the chat. And yes, Kevin, great to see you. Boulder's pretty nice. You should visit sometime. All right. With that, we are going to transition to the amazing, incredible Mr. Stephen G. Nice picture, by the way. I could not find that fast enough. So thanks for the assist.
No problem. All right, thanks, Nick. Appreciate the time. I'm gonna kick it off on some important topics that we have today. So let's talk a little bit about a new metrics UI that we're gonna roll out for Extend. If you skip over to the next slide, one of the things that we're going to look at is we are evaluating how we do metrics as a part of our monitoring and logging platform. And one of the things that we're doing is we want to be able to actually start to roll out a new UI for a lot of you guys. And as a part of that, what we're doing is one of my product managers, Obinna, has gone in and made a post to sign up as an early adopter for this new metrics UI. So here it'll give you the opportunity to provide us with some feedback, and then also and let you leverage the new UI that we were going to have that's rolling out. So I encourage everyone to go check out the forum post, sign up as an early adopter, give Obinna a lot of feedback so that you guys can be able to help shape the future of where we're going in terms of monitoring and logging. So pretty cool to be able to see. Let's turn it over to the next topic.
Yep.
And so this is a big one, and I know this will impact a lot of developers. We've already started this in a lot of the other regions that we have, and now we're going to start to roll it out in Germany and to the United States. So if you skip over to the next slide, what we are going to do is all development tenants that currently end, and you'll see the tenant alias that you see that end in this wcpdev, are going to expire out and they're going to be automatically deleted. And so what's going to happen is over a period of time, we're going to start to expire out these existing tenants, and you will get new additional tenants to be able to use. You will have to provision those yourselves. And the reason we're doing this is, if you skip to the next slide for me, is that we're actually going to prepare our dev tenant infrastructure to kind of really work with some new functionality. So we talked at DevCon about this new ability to be able to do impl deployment on demand, and we talked a lot about developer agents. And so to prepare for that, we actually had to make some changes in the infrastructure, and we need new development tenants to be created. And I know for a lot of you, there's configuration, there's applications that are already in this development tenant. And so there's going to be work for you to be able to do. And so what is that work that's going to happen? So if you go to the next slide for me, I'm going to tell you what it's going to mean. So starting on August 13th, we'll start to roll out, we'll do a phased rollout in which we'll have existing development tenants that are in Germany. After 60 days, they'll get deleted, and then the US region will follow. So what will happen is org admins will start to receive an email notification beginning 30 days prior to the deletion of the tenant, and they will continue to receive those in 2 weeks, and then a week before, and then 3 days, and then the day before the tenant is going to expire. And what we're going to do is we also want you to be able to say, hey, I understand I could be leveraging 3 tenants, or I've already provisioned 1 tenant already. How do I get another one? Well, we're going to allow you to be able to provision an additional tenant at no additional cost. So on our side, we're going to go ahead and allow you to provision an additional tenant. There's no changes that you will have to make. You will see the create button, the create tenant button enabled again, and you will be able to create a new tenant on this updated infrastructure that can support impl deployment on demand as well as developer agents. So that'll give you about 60 days worth of time. You'll start to see an expiration. So when you looked at that screenshot that I showed 2 slides back, you'll start to see there's expiration on the existing what we would call legacy development tenants. That will continue to show. and then you can provision that additional tenant. And our ask is that you migrate over any configuration or applications onto the new dev tenant. You'll have a 60-day period where both the old tenant and then the tenant that you'll have, the new tenant that you've created will be up and running at the same time, so you can use during that migration period. And then the other thing is, if you've already enabled Prism on that old development tenant, you will need to go in and re-enable Prism on the new tenant. So again, I put a link to that form so that if Prism needs to be enabled, that will obviously, you'll fill out that form and then we'll get the development tenant enabled with Prism on there. So a couple of asks that I have for you guys is, as we roll this out in preparation, there will obviously be some period of time, like 60 days, that you'll have to move configuration and applications over to this new development tenant, and we will automatically delete the tenant after that 60-day period has expired. You won't have the ability to be able to extend that, and so our ask is you take that time to be able to do this migration during that period and point in time. Okay, I know it's that's a hot topic. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. I don't see anything in the chat right now, which is great. So I think I did a really good job of explaining it, but it is a big change. But I think it's a change for the better, because in the end, it will actually end up supporting kind of the new functionality and features that we're going to be rolling out. So it's all in all, as we continue to improve upon what we're doing, this continues to be one of those things that we're doing. A couple questions that are coming in, and I will address them now. Sorry. Will we be able to back migrate from prod to the new dev tenant? So there is no capability to be able to backtrack or back migrate. Anything that's been created into a development tenant will need to be recreated, and then apps will need to be republished into the new developer tenant. This is going to kick off for Germany first, and then we'll roll out to the US region in the coming months. Okay, let's see. For customers who are in the India region, this has actually already happened, so there's no work that needs to happen for that one. And then the other last question that I see is, do these dev tenants have prod data? No. So remember, these are the development tenants, and they will have, based on what you've selected, either GMS, AMU, or Gov. One other question, where does it show if the dev tenant is located in Germany? This depends on what region your organization is located in, and you can see that by going to your profile and seeing which region your organization is associated to. Other question that I see, how long will custom dev tenants live for? So right now, they will continue to live for a period of time. I do think going long term, thinking about operationally on how we want to leverage these development tenants, the one thing that you will see is they'll probably start to implement a time to live on developer tenants as well going forward. I think it's, for performance, ensuring that everything is up to date, those will start to roll out as well. But I don't have a date timeline for this point for being able to say like how long custom tenants will live for. And yes, this will apply for all dev tenants. This is not just customer dev tenants. This will apply for both partner and built on Workday tenants. A lot of good questions coming in. I do want to keep it moving along. So I think I answered most of the ones. So I'll turn it back over to Nick. If there's additional questions, we'll be doing a post in the forum. Feel free to go ahead and add in additional questions that you will have going forward there.
Thank you. And yeah, and Vanessa has been crushing it in the Q&A section for you, Stephen, as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, go team. Thank you so much for coming on and being able to share. There's a couple more that are coming in chat that I'm sure we can handle async. Again, I have had dev tenants that have lived for 2 years, and boy, are they slow. Even for that reason alone, it's good hygiene to spin some up more often. But for the dev agent features, for the other infrastructure features like impl deploy on demand, I think this is a good call. But thank you for giving us a heads up, Stephen.
Yeah, my dev tenants are all drinking age now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
All right, with that, let's see if Kipp can reach the microphone. Kipp.
I think it'll work. Hopefully everyone can hear me. How y'all doing?
So good, Kipp.
So I wanted to talk to you all quickly about the Developer Pulse survey. For those of you who have been with us for a while, you'll remember this from last year. But every year we send out an annual survey basically to check out how we're doing, right? How y'all are feeling about the program, the tools, what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well, what you'd like to see in the future. It's coming out again. And within the next week, it should hit your inbox. And so we wanted to ask you to make you aware of it and ask you to take a look when it does come out. It will take less than 4 minutes to get through the whole thing. It's super important because we look at this information throughout our organization, and it informs a lot of what we're doing in the future with the roadmap, and more importantly, in some cases, the changes that we want to make to the program to be more of what you all want to see. So please, please, please take a couple of minutes, give us your voice, and let us know what you're liking, what you're not liking, and let us know what we can do better.
Amen. Yeah, it truly it goes all the way up, and we want to hear from you. So the more responses, the better. The bigger the sample, the better. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Obinna. Obinna, tell us all about. I'm sure that was cute. Sorry. Tell us all about GitHub.
Yeah, all right. So if you saw last week, we just opened up a new GitHub repository. This is because we want to create examples that live publicly. Like you've seen, the theme is like changing a bit more to like having more open developers in the platform. We want to see examples. So the type of examples that exist on this repository are like extend apps, integrations apps, orchestrations, you name it, agent skills, reference docs. We want you to contribute. And the ones that are labeled Workday, we take ownership of. So we'll keep them up to date. This, if you're familiar with, the app catalog, some of those examples are already ported over. We have a new UI. I've also shared the repository, so you can also go there, see how to contribute. We'll be making a lot of videos about this. Tony, you want to say something?
Yeah, so we actually did a live stream, and you guys will get a link to that particular live stream in a minute here. But we kind of walked through the lovely UI that Obinna put together for it, and there is some other cool samples that are not in the app catalog, and there will be definitely more coming soon.
Yeah, so please contribute, and yeah, we'll always review this, and we'll be building more examples and showing them publicly on like YouTube and other platforms that you all will be on. So yeah, that's the first new stuff.
And just to like we've been trying to give a space for you to be able to share what you're building for years. You've seen the barren wasteland of our like contributed solutions page on the dev forum. Community has this as well. So I think it's really, really freaking cool that we're finally doing this on GitHub the proper way. So thank you to this team for making that happen.
Sure. So yeah, the next thing that I want to talk about is something that, because obviously we're having orchestrations on GitHub, and the way that orchestrations are exported from Orc Builder right now are in JSON. And because we want you to contribute your projects and we want you to be able to see how these are viewed, we built a plugin or an extension, if you will, that sits in your VS Code and allows you to just view orchestrations. Now, quick notes, quick disclaimer, this is not a replacement for Orchestration Builder.
That's why we got Dan here.
Yeah, Dan,
Yes.
Yeah.
Very quick disclaimer.
Yeah.
This is just a way for viewing the orchestrations within these files. So viewing them within VS Code environments or class environments. I can show a quick demo if
Yeah, let's try it.
So
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah,
do it live.
Yeah.
doing it live. Everyone loves a cheeky demo.
I love it.
Cheeky
So,
demo. Love that.
So if you're familiar with VS Code or the likes, so when you open up an orchestration file, it sort of looks like this, right? And this is good because it contains all the information that you need to understand how the orchestration works. But if you're contributing one of your applications to our GitHub, this isn't really human readable. So what I've done is essentially just make a way to parse the information that's already there. Firstly, clean up the JSON because like everyone loves a pretty file, and then gets like this very nice look going. And this is an actual orchestration application, by the way. So it's not just all made up. I'm really just allowing you to view this within VS Code. So this is just a viewer. You click on it, you see what that means. And I think it's a cool way to just share code within friends. And we're trying to, create that open community where people can contribute. And yeah, so I've just dropped a link to the GitHub repo. And this is, you can also find it on VS Code Marketplace. And that would allow you to install it. I'm going to try and maintain it. We're going to work internally to see how we want to expand this. But yeah, I think it's a very cool addition to our current workflow.
Hell yeah. And you saw from Dan, like, why Orchestration Builder is still where you should be building, for God's sake.
Yes.
Like, the gorgeous, like, drag and drop and everything, like, that's where we want you to build. This is just meant for you to be able to more easily, like, grok or scan what's going on in a sample that's been contributed.
Yeah, and also just to note that this is open source. So if you see an issue, you see a way that, this doesn't work or that doesn't make any sense, please open issues. I've just dropped the repository there as well. Open issues, let us know what you think. And yeah, we're looking forward to hearing your feedback on that. And also another plug, next week, I'm going to be doing some videos on how this actually works. So explaining how the parser works, like how, I'm really just reading JSON and cleaning it up. So that's really a good way to understand how it works. And there are a couple of videos on the channel. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and look out for the next series. That's all for me.
Oh yeah, thank you, Obinna. All right, let's throw it to the recently birthday boy himself, Tony Gilpin. It's edition of Tony time.
Okay, so you guys might have heard of agentic tooling at this point.
I have. Say more.
And within that is a context window. There's a lot of thought around prompt engineering, but not a whole lot around context engineering. If you go to the next slide.
Well, there we go. That's cool.
So we're just gonna roll with this. While in the middle, effectively the context window is really good at grabbing the last and the beginning part of the context window when it gets big enough. And so when you create a bunch of stuff that inevitably ends up in the middle of your context window, it gets lost. So this is kind of that curve of what it knows and what it can retrieve accurately. So that you see, like, when you're looking for that stuff in the middle, it literally gets lost into, like, maybe you're a coin flip on whether or not you're going to find it. So I'm going to talk about a few different ways that we can mitigate this when we're building our agents. Let's go to the next slide here, Nick.
You're trying, brother.
Yeah, there we go. Video, don't worry about it. So again, keeping the facts out of the middle. So basically where you're putting the information and where the information is able to be retrieved from. If you go to the next slide. So the first one is compaction. This one is probably no surprise to anybody, but essentially when you get to a large enough context window, you can compact it. And what it's really doing is summarizing that context window. So then that summary is in the beginning of your context window instead of being spread out over 120 million tokens. And that really gives it the power to be able to see that context window really clearly. And then if we go to the next one, this one's a little bit less obvious, but putting those key facts on the edges. So when you think about your context window, re-prompting when you give the latest message, when you're doing important facts. So when you're talking to an agent and you think that it's basically forgotten what you're talking about, this is kind of where that concept comes into play, because you have to remind it of things that it has kind of forgotten, that's fallen into that middle void. So when you do reprompt, it gives it that recall of what you just gave into the last message. And then consequently, on the other side of things, you can put things into your system prompt or a memory layer. I don't get into that here, but effectively, if you put it in that layer that comes before your prompt, then it'll always be able to see that as it's the beginning of the context window, not that middle part. So we're really just trying to avoid everything falling into that gap of when you get a really large context window. Let's go to the next slide here. And then here is, again, I mentioned memory. So if you create structured memory that exists within your agent, so as you say, you know, it's either got different files that it should always be pulling, you know, a skill that knows to go and pick a particular piece of information. This is where that information is able to not get lost in that context window. So you're able to kind of think of it like a database sort of situation. Where it's able to pull memory outside of the context window to pull it in so it knows what you're looking at when you're trying to get at it. Was really a question here. If we shorten the window and put facts at the edges, total recall, you would call it a total recall. Little Arnold reference there.
Yes.
All right. And then, so if you guys like this or would like to learn more, again, me and Obinna had a wonderful live stream on Friday that was pretty funny. We did not just the GitHub walkthrough, but we pitted Grok and Claude against each other. Spoiler alert, Grok didn't think it was better than Claude.
Yeah. It admitted it out loud.
It admitted it. So take that for what you will, but I plan on doing a lot more stuff with agents and ASOR and all the good stuff that will be coming inevitably at Rising. So like, subscribe, and we'll see you online, guys.
Oh yeah,
Who
that's
would have
awesome.
thought that Grok would have become self-aware first?
Yeah, yeah, actually self-aware. It's not in the way you thought. Yeah. All right, CJ, I threw this in there for a reminder of cool learning program stuff.
Yeah, hi everybody, and that was really cool, Tony. Thanks for that info. And this is, as we're heading towards the open developer site, we are working with Workday Education to update our content and tutorials, which enables you developers to start fast and build real Workday apps and integrations through hands-on quick start guides. Next slide.
Yep.
So to do this, these are just some of the key topics that new developers on the Workday developer platform would benefit from. Everything from just navigating all the tremendous amount of resources on the Workday developer platform to designing pages that both display Workday data as well as get user inputs and post them back to Workday APIs. Build custom data models and business processes using our model components, and building orchestrations that automate workflows. So these are some of the things that are making sure have the latest updates and can get you started fast.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, CJ. With that, we will throw it to Shriya. Shriya, what's up?
Hey, well, are you excited to be in Boulder?
I am excited to be in Boulder.
Yeah.
I'll get used to the altitude right when it's time to leave.
I know, right? I was like, I came here and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got a cool thing. So, of course, you can contribute to our developer blog, right? With the opening of the ecosystem, there's a lot more places where you can contribute. And we want to hear your story, even if it's as simple as it's a cool use case that you built out that you want to talk about and brag about, or it's your own career journey. How did you get into Workday? All that, anything at all. We want your pitch. We want your draft. And once submitted, the editorial team on our team will review the proposal and work with you on the edit and publish. So please contribute to our developer blog. This is a super cool opportunity. And there's going to be more info about this very soon. All right. Next is, of course, we've got a cool developer meetups program. So please go ahead and host your own developer meetup. You organize a 2 to 3 hour meetup for your local community. You can earn the title of Workday Developer Ambassador, and I'll have some exciting updates about this very soon. And please go ahead and fill out the form, and I'll be in touch with more information. Even if you're just curious about how it all works, absolutely reach out. I can happily guide you to the right place. I've got a lot of resources, and we're really here to support you so that you can amplify and lead the meetup in your local city.
Love it.
All right. And of course, don't forget the Outstanding Contributor Awards, where you win a swag package of Workday Developer gear. It's the top 5 of the leaderboard every quarter. I will be announcing the Q2 Outstanding Contributors next month. So stay tuned for that. All right. And yeah, that's great. And please continue to use the forum every day and climb that leaderboard. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. That one? That leaderboard?
Yes, this leaderboard.
Nice.
So yes, engage on the forum, climb the leaderboard. There's going to be so many ways that you can contribute here. And if you have any ideas of how you want to incentivize other aspects of what you do on the leaderboard, let me know. I want to know all those cool ideas that you have. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna go into upcoming events, but really quick. I'm gonna throw it to
Yeah, sorry. Srinivas, you're looking swagged out in this photo, my man.
Dope.
Super jealous.
Needs to be your forum.
Yeah. With that, we throw it to the
Me.
influencer,
Hello.
Chris Humphrey, live in Boulder.
Greetings, everybody. I have one slide that
Love
we're
it.
gonna go over today, but I'm gonna talk a little bit. So the next developer program deep dive call is in a couple weeks, August 25th, 9 a.m. Pacific. We would love to have you there. But I want to talk a little bit about the deep dive calls for a second. We want to make sure that we're bringing you the right value, the right sessions, content. We love presenting this stuff to you guys. I get a tremendous amount of joy like doing the sessions. Prepping for the sessions, then maybe it's a little different story. So what I wanted to ask is, are y'all getting value out of these calls with the topics we're covering? What topics aren't we covering that you want to hear about? And I also want to say, another thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to be zooming out a little bit, okay? So historically, our KSS calls, our deep dives, they have talked about Workday specific tools and technology, right? But the developer work is changing, the world is changing, and with it, so is the Workday development patterns, right? And something I hadn't thought about until Obinna was talking about our new GitHub repository. A lot of people in the Workday ecosystem don't know anything about version control. They don't know how to use Git. They might not know how to actually submit a contribution to our new GitHub, and that's a problem. So in 2 weeks, we are going to talk version control. That is going to be the topic. It's not going to be embedded in the context of Workday. We're just going to talk about what is Git. Why is it important? How does it work? How do you use it? And we're going to give you the basics, right? Because you can get pretty deep there. High level, but it's still going to be a deep dive. So I think there's going to be value for you. If these are the kind of topics you want to hear about, let us know, right? The feedback is important. We're going to listen to it. I'm going to shape those calls based on what you tell me, okay? So that's it. That's my pitch.
I like it. You're getting a lot of love so far. We'll throw the link to the last call, which is on YouTube, AQAP. Or you could search on YouTube. It better show up. If it doesn't, let me know. Because we will SEO optimize better.
Yeah, we're not gonna boil the ocean.
Yeah. Totally.
All right, cool.
Welcome. And welcome back,
Hi, it's
Shriya.
me.
Wow.
All right, well, let's go into more of the upcoming events. So last month we only had one upcoming meetup coming up. Now we have 3. So we have in Denver on August 27th. We have Atlanta on September 9th and Indianapolis on November 4th. So you can go ahead. I'll share the link right now on finding your local meetup, and you can sign up today. So please, please come by. These are such cool events. I have never had someone say, I regret going to a meetup. So don't start now, right? All right. Putting the link in right now.
And the Denver one is featuring the one and only Brandon Fahey.
Yes. And the Atlanta one is going to be hosted by Advisors.
Nice.
His team, and Indianapolis is with Jasper Rosinski and Aram
Jasper.
from Kanos. Yeah,
Nice.
so some cool stuff.
We were just talking last night about me making a little drive over to Seattle and maybe hosting a Seattle meetup.
Hell
do
yeah.
it. Yeah,
I'd come out for that.
let's do it.
Oh man, so good.
Right. And of course, we'll see you not in Boulder, unfortunately, next month, Tuesday, September 8th. We're always here, second Tuesday of every month, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And for the community updates, go ahead. We have our YouTube, of course, the Workday Developers playlist. If you haven't checked it out already, it has a lot of goodness related to how you can build and all the latest updates. We put this call there too, so make sure to check it out. All right.
And yes, it's a real screenshot from my real feed.
Yes.
It's okay. It made me smile.
All right, and then of course, if you haven't already, get social with us. Join the Workday Developers page on LinkedIn. That's where we'll give you all the latest updates. Even if we're not, we can't always meet up. So this is the best place to get all these updates. And yeah, go ahead and follow the page if you haven't already. And with that, I will throw it back to you, Nick, for Q&A.
Yeah, we covered a lot of big stuff today. We've still got our amazing product managers on the line. We gave you about 30 really exciting things. So I'll leave the call open for a few minutes. Any questions folks want to talk about? Anyone want to hear Tony Time jingle again?
I was gonna say, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, we do need that on this slide.
Gonna make you a jingle out of that.
Yeah, you should.
Yes, that's my fourth prop.
Hi. All right, well, you know where to find us. You can find us on the forum, find us on LinkedIn, throw something at Chris, whatever works. Folks, it's been an honor. Thank you for bearing with us as we are hiking and then presenting and live, but I think it was really, really fun. Huge thank you to our guest presenters for being on the call. Much appreciate, as the cool kids say in SoCal. And we will catch you next month, bright and early, September 8th, 2026. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.